How is it that you can keep so cool and appear so utterly insensible to danger in such a storm of shell and bullets as rained about you when your hand was hit? Jackson gazed at the young officer of artillery and replied, "Captain, my religious belief teaches me to feel as safe in battle as in bed. God has fixed the time for my death. I do not concern myself about that, but to be always ready, no matter when it may overtake me. That is the way all men should live, and then all would be equally brave."
What's up, Dirty Cones? It's Friday. Little excerpt from Rebel Yell by S.C. Gwynn, a book about Stonewall Jackson. Really, really good. So that yesterday they took down a marble statue, Robert E. Lee. They're taking down all these Confederate guys. Fort Bragg is named after Bragg, who fought on the Confederate side. Like a lot of our history, a lot of our things come from, and I'm not people do, like I said, intentions. I do not believe that Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, they weren't fighting so much for to keep slavery. I don't even know where. Alright, I really saw from a young Dirty Cone this weekend who eventually I will look at your YouTube channel. By the time, who knows when this video is going to come out. I keep filming them and I cannot get them to transfer onto my computer, so I am at a standstill, which may be good because maybe they all suck, and when I listen to them before I put them on, I'm like, oh, you know what, those suck. I shouldn't put those on. Where to begin? So it's my opinion, my feeling, the way you can learn something from somebody, even if it's how not to be. Even sometimes that person might teach you the most valuable lesson on how to be, and then they may also simultaneously turn around and then teach you how not to be. And that's life. You find out your hero, John Wayne, let's go back to John Wayne, wasn't as good a person as, as you thought he might have been. Maybe he said some words, and you're like, oh, alright, he's an asshole, he's a good actor, but as a person, you can still love the movies, because the man is just playing a character. The character is the person, Davy Crockett was a good person. All that kind of stuff. So your heroes aren't always going to be your heroes. Your perception on one thing, I kind of, history, and they got herstory. It's not so much to say, feminine, blah blah. No, it's like, look, there's two sides to the story, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe his story is his story. Oh, it's history, we need everybody's history, everybody's insight, everybody's view, so that way we have a well-rounded view. And then what happened with the last election, we didn't have a well-rounded view because everybody, I'm going to leave out this information because it's not favorable to my cause, or, this, that's irrelevant, whatever, and you need it all. You need the whole picture. You need all your puzzle pieces to go, okay, and you're never going to get that. So you go off the best you can. Like Rufus, the 13th Apostle, said in Dogma, it's good to have ideas, song, Three Dog Night. Check it out. So, Robert E. Lee, maybe not the best person, maybe not the best job, but you know, he helped the great land steal of 1848 with the Mexican-American War, which, you know, I'm alright with it just because then California, you know, wouldn't have been part of America. So, but a lot of people done a lot of bad things so we can have this country. A lot of Native Americans killed, a lot of Chinese, a lot of Irish, a lot of Africans, you know, that were brought over here. We still kill a lot of people that don't need to be killed. I know you're like, man, you are all muddled in your explanation, but there's no easy answer, right? You love them, you hate them, they're your relatives that you only see at Christmas time, and you're like, ah. But it's who we are as a country. It has shaped us, it has made us. And I'm not, you know, you're not glorifying them. You're not, yes, I know some people are. So yes, in that vein of, we don't fly the Confederate flag anymore, or the 1st Virginia. Not because, yeah, you know what, assholes are limiting our free speech. Because if you want to be like, you know what, I'm proud that my family was in, you know, the Confederacy. I'm proud that my family was in the North. I'm proud that my family, you know, died at the Alamo. I'm proud that my family... It's okay to have those feelings. You know, usually, but we're not proud of slavery. We're not proud of degradation, demoralization, destruction, you know. I hate, it's not an ends justifies the means, but, and it's not at all. But at the same time, we're in America. You know, we have opportunities that other people on this planet do not have. Even though we screw over a lot of people, but that's why it's up to us, right? You're a good cone, you become a good PJ, you become a good person, you become a good airman, you become, you know, something better than you are, you know. Whereas war being the sum of all evils, you have the opportunity to be the sum of all good, just in you, because you add to other people's goodness, and we just make the world a better place. You don't listen to all the hatred, all the stupidity, all the polarization, all the me against you. If you're not with us, you're against us. Life is not that black. All right, here's Turkey. Here, you guys want a little history lesson. So in the spring, all right. So all right, Gulf War, right? After the Gulf War, we started the northern no-fly zone and the southern no-fly zone. In the north was to protect the Kurds from the Iraqis, and in the south was to protect the Kuwaitis from the Iraqis, and, you know, we just kept them in our little box. And if we had not invaded him and just stayed and kept him in that box, because he kept all those ISIS guys in check. But it's another story we'll talk about some other day. We'll talk about Northern Watch. So we're in Turkey, protecting, you know, the Kurds from the Iraqis, but in the spring, the Turks would launch their offensive to go kill all the Kurds, and that was every springtime. And in the springtime, they would not let us go out there. So we'll defend the Kurds from the Iraqis, but we won't defend them from the Turks. If the friend of my friend is my enemy, I mean, hey, you know, we'll defend you from these guys, but we can't help you with these guys because we have a treaty with them because they let us use their bases. Yeah. I don't know. It always felt like the wrong answer for me. I think we should defend him from everybody. But so now we're having trouble with Turkey in Syria because they don't want to fight in areas where they may be assisting the Kurds or fighting alongside the Kurds. Because the Kurds in Turkey are a terrorist group. But, one man's terrorist group is another man's freedom fighter. And, if people invaded America, what are you going to do? I'm not condoning terrorism. I'm not condoning anybody doing anything wrong to anybody else. But I'm just saying that the perception that people have is you're in my homeland, you're invading, I would like to be free. I don't even know. That's how tricky and icky a lot of these situations that are going on in the world, Crimea, we should have defended them, but no, we didn't. I don't know. Like, it's up to you guys, draw your own conclusions, but be open for, oh, wow, I did not know that happened. I guess I will have to change the way I think. Ooh, Nolan Void, really good podcast with Radiolab this week, and it actually, I'll put them down below if I eventually ever get this on. They have a Supreme Court podcast that's really good that talks about that in another point, jury nullification, and then Life of the Law had a jury nullification one, which was I really enjoyed. America is free because people fight on all sides to make sure that, there's a truth. I mean, there's not truth to everything everybody says, but there's some truth to some. No, sorry. There's no truth. What's the word I'm looking for? So I think. All right, no man, no women, nobody is perfect. Everybody's got mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You do the best you can. All right, so the way that I was never, I was homesick a couple times, but the way I combated homesickness and was able to not be homesick 98% of the time was wherever I lay my head is my home. That's how I stay. This is home. I'm a turtle. I got my backpack. I got everything. I got a towel. I got sand from Hawaii. I've got, things that, will sustain me. I'm ready to go. So I'm always home. Like Stonewall Jackson answered, don't be afraid of death, because if you live a good life and you're doing everything you're supposed to, you'll get there. It doesn't matter, in order to get to heaven, you gotta die. If you're doing the right thing, you're being a good PJ, you're helping people. I'm not saying you can go out and murder people on your day off. I'm just saying that the occasional speeding ticket, or losing your temper with your kids when you're not beating your kids, but why don't you understand that that's okay? I mean, even Jesus got angry, so that's all right. I mean, a lot of people get angry at some point, but you always try to do the right thing, don't do the wrong thing, and in the end it works out. That's my belief. And if you're gonna die, might as well die doing something you love or helping somebody else survive. No greater gift. These opinions are those of The Abyss, a registered trademark, and I just got cut off. Copyright 2017. Oh, you know what? Oh, what is I don't know if historically this is true, but it seems to me that right when a bunch of patents are about to go out, there seems to be some war. If you look into the Civil War, there's a huge, right before, and I'm not saying that it was about patents, I'm just saying that occasionally weird coincidences happen, and you know, those who are not familiar with history are going to be condemned to repeat it, so pay attention to history and, you know, stay out of trouble. I'm going to get some gas, maybe we'll finish this up later. Hope you guys are good. Cody says, "Hooyah."